Hola, ¿cómo están? Este video lo hago para responder a una pregunta de Jason. Jason, I'm recording this video for you, but I am hoping that the rest of the people, the rest of the class can also benefit of it. So I'm going to post it on the virtual office, at the virtual office. Your question is about nouns, actually. You emailed me about the gender of certain verbs. And just to clarify, verbs do not have any connotation of gender. Okay? Gender does not or is not attached to the verb. That concept of gender, no. What you mean is nouns. Yes, the nouns are either masculine or feminine. Verbs are actions. For example, to speak, to sleep, to eat, whatever. You know? No gender whatsoever. Verbs refer to actions that the subject performs. See? So the verb is going to reflect that subject in the ending, right? You will conjugate it according to the subject that performs the action. If it's yo, the ending will be according to the ending of the verb. If it's an AR verb, the ending will be O for all regular verbs. For example, como, hablo, etc., etc. Does it make sense? When that verb is in infinitive form, it ends in AR. I'm talking about hablar or any other AR verb. Hablar, estudiar, etc. The ones that you have already learned in this chapter. So, you asked about the plurality. If the noun, I cannot even open the email you sent me because for some reason, I don't know, you can use email and the whole online network it's gone right now. I couldn't even sign up to check the question well, but I remember what I read this morning was about humanidades. You asked about humanidades, and if that noun shouldn't be masculine when it comes to plural form, or if it shouldn't be neutral or something. That's a good question, actually. Good question. That word is pluralized because the real word is humanidad, meaning humanity. Humanidad. All the nouns ending in that or tad are always feminine. So, la humanidad means the humanity. La libertad means liberty, the liberty, etc., etc. All nouns ending in that or tad are feminine. So, when it comes to humanidades, because it is a subject, it is pluralized because it includes several fields within that concept of humanities. It could be literature, it could be history, it could be sociology, etc., etc. So we make it plural to refer to the subject area, okay? Las humanidades. Remember, plural here as well. Masculine here, masculine here. Feminine here, feminine here. This guy, since it is always feminine, since it is a feminine noun, nouns do not change. Keep that in mind. Okay? Like when you say mesa, it doesn't matter if it's plural. It will be always feminine. It will always be feminine. It's attached to it. Alright? That concept of gender. There's no connotation of sexuality to it. No. It's just a matter of morphology. So, it would be la or las. In this case, it's las because it's plural. Right? Plural here, plural here. Feminine here too. In other words, you cannot say el mesa or los mesas. Never. You can even say la mesas. That would be also wrong. It has to be las mesas. But then, going back, most nouns ending in a are feminine. Most nouns ending in o are masculine. And you're making plural by adding s. Simple as that. Now, it's easy with people. It's very simple. With people, you don't have to know whether it's because if people are either masculine or feminine, actually, there's gender attached to a person. Yes. So And that's clear. So in that one, it's easier to determine. So if you're talking about doctor, in Spanish, remember, this is a cognate, doctor, right? And you say, the doctor is tall. Ah, what doctor you're talking about? You know? If your doctor is a lady, in Spanish, I mean in English doesn't matter, right? Because there's no concept of gender attached in the noun. But in Spanish, yes. If your doctor is a female, be careful. You have to use the article that is feminine. Yeah. Even though here, it could be a neutral one. Even though this one is not neutral, because it is a person, you can make it feminine. Look, doctora. Ah, you just add the A. See? La doctora. And you can say el doctor. Right? Now, is tall. You have to also remember, it's feminine, right? So, I mean, it's singular. So, the verb has to observe that morphology. Singular. Remember what I said? Verbs don't have a gender. So, don't look for gender in there, but look for plurality or singularity. So, doctora is one, so es, right? You can say son, because it's only one. Es, and look at this one. Alta or alto. That one is also masculine or feminine, depending on this guy, the noun. So, alta. Does it make sense? So, el doctor is only one. Don't pay attention about gender, because verbs don't need that. El doctor is alto. Look at the difference. O, because you're referring to a male doctor. And look at it, also male or masculine. Does it make sense? Yes. So this in the cases of people. Let's look at another noun referring to people. Let's say niño. You can tell it's a male child or kid because of the ending. So you know it's el, right? El niño es muy. The kid is very, let's say, is very. El niño es muy pequeño. You're saying he's very small. Look at it. Oh. Always has to agree. That guy called adjective has to agree with this one. All right? This one will modify not only that one, but this one as well. So, you know that if you want to talk about a female kid, then it would be niña. And then you need la. And then es muy, look at this one. This one is a verb, and this one is called adverb. Don't look for gender or number in that one. Adverbs are special ones. Right now, you don't need to concern for those because we don't study in Spanish 101. And remember, always, adjective will reflect the gender of the noun as well. Okay? So look at it. That's a sentence that points toward a child that is either masculine or feminine, or male or female. All right. So I guess you were looking at it because there was an e there. Now it's not neutral. It will always be feminine because it ends in that. The problem with the e is, or not the problem, what you thought, the reason you thought it was neutral, it was because because there are some nouns that end e, which are neutral, and they are used for both feminine and masculine. That's a good point. That's a good thing that you brought it up. It's just because the e is there because it's a rule. Whenever a noun ends in no vowel, or a consonant that is different than n or s, you make it plural by adding es. Yeah. For example, lapis. Look at it. Lapis is pencil. How do you make it plural? This one is even more special because you have to change the z for c to make plural, and you have to add an accent mark. Yeah, this one is special. So lapis is one. Lapis is more than one. It's pencil, pencils. Look at it. You add es. Let's say doctor. How you make it plural? Es. Does it make sense? Yeah. So, But there are some ones that actually end in A. In A. And you make it plural just by adding the S. And I know you were probably looking or thinking about estudiante. Estudiante, estudiante means student, right? So, how do you determine the gender? Since it's neutral, it's not you or him the one who determines. It's the idea that you are expressing with it. Who you are referring to, that's when you have to determine it. Because, you're talking about one of your classmates. It's male or female. It's so simple as that. You don't have to struggle with that one. It's used for both. If it's female, use that one. It's male, it's just the same one. It applies for both of them. But then, remember the adjective has to reflect gender here, and the article too? Yes, so depending on who you are talking about, if you're talking about your classmate, female classmate, let's say Megan is your classmate, and you're talking about her, and you're referring to her as a student, so you're going to use la because you're talking about Megan. Megan is sick, let's say. Sick is enfermo. Remember, adjectives will be presented in the masculine form because that's Spanish. Spanish is very masculine. Yeah, so that's something characteristic of the language. And it's cultural. They are presented to you in the masculine form. If you look in the dictionary will include it in masculine form as the base form, but that doesn't mean it's the only form. You have to adjust it according to the noun. And how you know the gender here? Easy. Boom, look at here. That one will tell you, right? If you don't know in a written form who the speaker is referring to, you look here and you know it's talking about a female one. Therefore, enferma. Right? So, el estudiante está enfermo. That would be a mistake, okay? In written form. You need to adjust it again to a masculine form. Está enfermo. Does it make sense? I don't know if I answered your question, but I wanted to make a video because I think this way is going to be more clear. If I write down to you in an email, it's going to take me like 40 minutes to kind of like make a point. Here it's easier. You're seeing the examples. So what else? How do you make it plural? Simple. Change el for the equivalent in plural, which is los, right? Estudiantes. You're going to add one S only, nothing else. Look at it. Plural, plural. This is singular. Can I leave it like that? No. Make it plural as well. And then, because it's estudiantes, it's referring to they, right? They. That's the subject pronoun. You have to look at them, right? They. If you are to replace students with a subject pronoun, it would be ellos. In this case, ellos, no ellas, because it's masculine. So, ellos están. Remember, yo estoy, tú estás, él está, nosotros estamos, vosotros estáis, ellos están. You may not have covered that verb yet in chapter 2, where we are now. But my recommendation is, if you don't know, if there's a verb that you still don't know yet, then you're not familiar, but it's very important, this verb is very important, this verb to be. It's the first verb that you learn when you're learning English. To be is the basic verb. Well, it's the same in Spanish. You cover first ser because it's the first verb. Well, it's the most common one. I would say that's risky to say. Both are very common, ser and sta, and they are to be, both of them. So just go ahead. If you don't know this verb is very popular, but I still don't know. I recommend you to go and check the book, okay? The textbook. Go to the textbook, open it up, check for that verb. Chances are you will find it right away there at the next chapter or in the same chapter maybe. But anyway, you will find it for sure early in the book. Está, estoy, estás, está, estamos, estáis, están. Those are the conjugations. So ellos están. Therefore, here you are. Están. And look at it. Singular. Plural, plural, plural. This cannot stay singular. That's something that you need to remind yourself. Keep in mind, all right? Spanish is that regular. It's very regular. There's no exceptions to this rule. Plural, 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 plural as well. All of them have to be plural. All right? And these three have to be or agree in gender. Why? Because as I've mentioned already, verbs don't have gender. Right? But they have number. They reflect number. No gender. So, look at it. Los enfermos. If it was girls that you were talking about, then you just use las. Estudiantes están enfermas. And look at it. Estudiantes was not moved. Because it's what we call neutral noun. See? And also, like this one, there are several others, many others. Some others don't even end in e, but end in a. Yeah, some nouns are actually deceitful because they end in a. And what you learn? All nouns ending in a are feminine. Not quite accurate. I would say 99.5% is true. But there's several ones that are very special. Like, for example, this one, you're familiar with it. Artista. Artista means artist, right? I cognate again. Artista works for both. Yeah, even though it looks, it ends in a, it works for both. It's a neutral word because there's no masculine form for this one in the sense of the ending. There's no artisto. You have to say, el artista se llama Leonardo. And you say the artist's name is Leonardo. Or if it's a female, you say la artista se llama. By the way, I've not paid attention. There's not many female artists. Famous Renaissance artists who are female, or even the Baroque, or even in the Impressionism movement. Okay, let me think on one that is recent. Zoon is very good. La artista se llama Zoon. If you know who she is, she's I think she's from Chicago, I don't know, or Washington or New York, I don't know. Very famous artist, American artist. Anyway, that's a little bit of I hope, well, it was 17 minutes. I hope it would be only 5 minutes, but hey, I wanted to give you a little bit of a hint. If you have any more questions about this one, please let me know, okay? I would be happy to create a video whenever I have a chance and explain it to you this way because I believe it's way more effective than emailing a reply. All right? Bye-bye.